this is Anna from the Vito and Anna team. I'm here today with Julian Colucci from Real Property Management Coral to talk a little bit about property management. So with that said, let's get right into our interview. So Julian, tell me exactly what is property management?
Well, thanks for having me, Anna. So property management could kind of be defined by three essential services. One would be leasing, and that's obviously marketing, syndicating, and screening tenants. Second would be the actual management. That's a lot of accounting and bookkeeping, owner relations, tenant relations, and third would be maintenance. And obviously that's maintaining the property, designating work orders, following up with vendors. That's pretty much.
So now tell us a little bit about what are the different types of properties that you manage?
Yeah, so I mean, single family homes, very common, multifamily homes, then you have Airbnbs and homeowner associations. Commonly we manage single family homes and multifamily. In multifamily, you get more of the intentional investor, somebody who absolutely needs a property manager because it is a full-time job. HOAs are a little bit different dynamic with that. You're dealing with residents, actual homeowners, a whole different set of legality with that. And Airbnb, it's short-term rentals, so it's a little bit more focused on prompt communication and even furthering that screening process when finding tenants for your short-term stays.
Now tell us, when does it make sense for an investor to bring you in? What would be kind of like your value proposition if somebody was kind of like asking about your services?
Yeah. So I mean, the number one reason why people hire property managers is to get their time back. Especially when you own multiple rental properties, it becomes a full-time job. There's just so much moving parts and involved with. I mean, imagine getting phone calls at Sunday, 3 o'clock in the morning. The AC's gone out. Nobody really wants to do that. And as you mentioned in the beginning, real estate investing, it's a very lucrative passive investment. I mean, it could very quickly not become a passive investment when you're hands-on and it becomes a full-time job. So, I mean, keeping it a true lucrative passive investment, you need to have a really good property manager.
Now let's get into, I'm sure, what the first thing that people ask you, like what is the cost of property management? And let's talk about between a single family home to like a multifamily and an Airbnb, like what would be the cost involved with that?
So my favorite answer to that question is the cost. It pays for itself, but there are fees, right? So anywhere from 7 to 10% on a long-term rental, anywhere upwards of 20 to 25% on a short-term rentals. HOAs is usually a cost per door, a fixed cost per door. Yeah, and I mean, as I mentioned before, the three separate dynamics of property management services. There's the leasing fees, which are typically 1 month's rent. The management fees that are 7 to 10% on long-term, 20 to 25 on short-term rentals, and then also the maintenance, which it takes time and effort to schedule maintenance. That's kind of one of the main misconceptions owners have with maintenance. They think that every service call you make, it's free. It's included in the 7 to 10%, but oftentimes, depending on the arrangement, there's a markup percentage that gets charged on any maintenance call.
Well, of course, and I also imagine like you're using like your trusted team, not just bringing in like random people that you also like never know they might tell you there's a problem where there's not.
Circling back on me saying it pays for itself. We have existing relationships with our vendors and our trades that we're able to get not only reliable work and good work done, but we're able to save on costs just because of the volume that we do things at. So we're oftentimes, our fee that we charge, it's oftentimes just a wash. By the time you have to find your own plumbers, pay retail price for it, it's like we have these relationships in place and we're oftentimes able to save money.
Now let's talk about some of the most common mistakes like you see owners do when managing their own properties, because I'm sure people say like, oh no, I totally got this, like I can do it. So what are the most common mistakes that they make?
Yeah, for sure, a lot of do-it-yourselfers out there. But I mean, the most common mistakes I see, people either overvaluing or undervaluing their property on the market, and an inability to be able to adjust.
Okay.
When the time is right, when it's sitting on the market too long. I mean, you have to be able to know to lower the price, because 8.3% is 1 month's rent. So right there, and that's typically the charge of a property manager, 8.3%. So, you know, you hire somebody who knows how to rent the property out effectively, and it's not going to be sitting on the market. Like, there's pretty much their fee covered in 1 month right there, right? So,
Yeah. Oh, that totally makes sense.
yeah. Some other mistakes. I mean, you know, they oftentimes they're either too lenient or too stringent with their tenants.
Okay.
And they also don't know how to screen properly. We have certain software and processes and procedures that we take to make sure that, you know, we're not going through evictions. Evictions could be very costly. Although, you know, legislation in Florida, you know, allows us to evict relatively easy.
Yeah.
However, it's still at a cost. You know, you have to pay your legal fees and, you know, the time that it takes to get it done. You have vacancies, right?
Of course. No, that makes sense. Thank you for coming along today and telling us a little bit about property management and what you do. If you guys are interested in property management, have any questions, or see how Julian may be able to help you, his information will be in the description below, so you'll have all his contact details. Thank you again so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.